Hello and welcome to Running with Rifles Beta 0.77. This is Comjack here, and I will be doing a pair of tutorial videos on this game. This one will be on the menus and options, while the next one I will upload later will be on gameplay itself. So this is the screen you're presented with when you start the game. What's going on here? It's pretty obvious. On the right hand side you have your normal options menus and everything. On the left hand side you have stats. Now notice that the game is playing in the background. This doesn't really affect anything, it's just for show. So let's start. On the left hand side we have simple stats. We've got soldiers killed, times died, hours played, very straightforward. Underneath we've got a series of combos and streaks. Combos are achieved by killing a certain number of enemies in a given time, while streaks are given by killing that many enemies in one life. You can get player kill streaks, which is when you kill enemy players. Death streaks are when you die 5 times in a row without killing anything, and team kill streaks are when you kill 2 or more teammates in one go. Don't do this unless you're getting a Jeep unstuck, but more on that later. So what have we on the right hand side? We have start new game, continue recent game, activate server, join online game, change map options, and quit. Don't press this button, it's not good for you. Let's start with the options. In the options we have the mouse sensitivity, very basic, right, left, I play around here, get it, set it to whatever you want, not a big deal. Now let's get into the controls. Remember, these controls are not the standard controls. I have changed these controls. These are my own controls. You will want to look through the controls to know what your controls are and begin setting them to your specifications. Remember, these are my controls, not yours. Very basic. They all tell you what's going on. Click it, set it, you're done. Next up is the visual options. First up we have the clear bodies threshold. This is when you have dead bodies lying around, as you see on the background, that will be shown before they get cleared. If you turn it all the way to the left, that means you don't want bodies to appear. Notice that they're slowly disappearing. And if you have it all the way on the right, that means you want a lot of bodies running around. If you have performance issues, you're going to want to keep it on the left. That's simply to help free up your GPU, CPU, whatever's going on. Rank score notification. This is a small arcadey kind of number thing. It tells you how many score you get when you kill something. It's quite useful. It lets you know who killed what. If I get score, I killed it. If I didn't get score, someone else who was shooting at him got the kill. You can turn that off, you can turn that on, very simple. Line of sight helper. This is this little white cursor that is kind of trailing my player. There you go. Do you see this cursor that is trailing my actual cursor? That is the line of sight helper. It helps show your line of sight. You can turn that off and the cursor disappears. Turn it back on and it comes back. I generally leave it on. It's good for new players to keep it on. It helps you tell where you can or cannot shoot. Player markers are circles under the characters that show who everyone is. That yellow circle right there, that's me. If I turn this off, notice it disappears. These circles appear on enemy players and on friendly players and on AI squad mates. Generally want them on unless you're filming something, doing something weird. I don't know. I'd keep them on, there's no reason to turn them off. Isoline. Now there are no isolines here, but isolines are basically lines on the map that denote 3D height. If you've ever read a topographical map, you'll know what isolines are. The isoline occurrence simply refers to the density of these lines. Isoline intensity is how dark they are. More to the right is darker, more to the left is lighter, all the way to where you don't have isolines. Backline intensity. Backlines are these little lines that you see on the back of buildings when they are obscured from view that show the geometry of the building. You can turn this all the way up. Let me do that. And note how dark they are. These let you see what's going on behind the buildings because you cannot rotate your camera. And don't ask for it. It will not happen. So I usually play with them around here. You can set it to whatever you like. Now back to the menus. We've got visual quality. Shadows, self-explanatory, on, off. If you can handle it, turn them on. Post-processing, I'm not quite sure what exactly it does. It seems to just dim the screen a little bit. For me, I keep it off. Simple as that. Bullet trails, you can have no bullet trails, in which case it's very hard to tell who's shooting at you and where the bullets are coming from. You can have 50%, which kind of gives you an indication, and 100%, which tells you every bullet's path. Grass on, off. Now, as of 0.77, the grass was revamped a little bit. It looks a little better. You're going to want to keep it on if you can handle it. It looks great. Water detail, pre 0.77 was on low. It looked very flat, very basic. High. Now we've implemented a new, better looking water set. Looks good. Keep it on high if you can. Weather effect really only affects map 4, also known as frostbite. Weather effect is simply snow or rain, something like that. That's implemented later. It just looks good. If you can't handle it, turn it off. If you can, turn it on. No big deal. Voxel presets are simply little presets that Vassie has made. It changes the density and the voxel size. You can change these lay down here. As you can see, they're changing with the presets. And I'll talk more about them down there. Voxel density is how many voxels your characters and your weapons are made of. Note when I turn it to -2, it looks way blockier than if I turn it to +2. This is a graphics option. If your computer's having trouble running the game, you want to turn it to -2. I keep it at +1 just for the hell of it. Voxel size, this is the simple voxels. Now, notice if I turn it all the way off, you actually turn invisible. Everyone is actually. If you turn it all the way to the right, you get this pretty hilarious Minecrafty kind of game. I think it's hilarious. It's fun. I keep it around here. Do whatever you want with it. It's not game changing. It's just how you want the game to feel. Yeah, right around there. So that's it for the options. Now, what's going on with the other ones? If you've tried to start your new game, you're presented with a complicated screen already. The first one I'll talk about is the faction. You want to be green or gray. There's only 2 factions. You pick one or the other. Now, the number of initial occupied bases simply lets you know how many bases you start with. If it's even, the map will be split right up the middle and everyone will be on even footing. It'll be an even fight. If you want 1 initial occupied base, your faction will start with 1 base. This means you are on the defense and you will need to push out from 1 base to conquer the entire map. This is really, really hard to say the least. Really complicated. I've not ever done it before. Initial rank is the rank that you start as. You can go all the way up to number 7 and you can start, or you could start in the mud as number 0. Note that in game you can actually get all the way up to level 10, but you can only start in the game with level 7. Obviously rank 1 is better than rank 0 in ways, 2 better than 1, all the way up to 10. They all have their own benefits, which I will get to in the gameplay tutorial. AI accuracy, they're very accurate at 0. It may look like they're not, but they are. They will one-shot you from everywhere. Not to the point where it's unplayable, but to the point where it's sometimes frustrating when you clearly got the jump on a guy and he just turns around and shoots you in the face. You can turn it down all the way to -4, in which case they look like they don't know which side the bullet's coming out of. Go up to +2. I don't recommend it. You will probably not do very well. Max soldiers, simply the max number of soldiers on the map. That means if you have 600, there will be 300 soldiers on each team, not 600 soldiers on each team. I keep it around 200 for most of the maps. If I'm playing Stalemate, I'll change it up to about 400 or 300, mostly 200, 150. Set it to whatever you like. Or no AI for purely PvP. Right. Vehicles on off, very simple. Turn on vehicles. 3 vehicles are the Jeep, the truck, and the APC. Do what you like with it. Hit start, the game will start. Now, if you noticed, when you hit start, it always plays the map that's loaded in the background. Let's say I don't want to play this map, I want to play another map. Go to back to the main menu, hit change map. Here you'll be presented with 4 maps plus Insular Complex. Now these have just recently been given name changes, and I cannot even pronounce these two. I'm going to say Valakowski and Aeolian Coast. So, we've got Frostbite, which was map 4, Valakowski, map 3, Aeolian Coast, map 2, Stalemate, map 1. You can pick any of these and hit change. When you hit change, the whole game restarts pretty much. I will change to Valakowski and you'll see what I'm talking about. So it's restarting basically, and you'll notice that the new map is loaded in the background. This usually takes about 10-15 seconds. It's going to take longer here because I have Bandicam running. Usually not a big deal. Oh, that was pretty quick. So here's map 3 on Valakowski. Back to the change map, you can turn Tux on or off. Tux is just the guy from Linux. He is a little model hidden around the maps. You can turn him on or off, simple as that, just for fun. Insular Complex was a map created by the community, and it was a strictly PvP map. It has been pulled out of rotation for this version to be revamped, kind of tweaked to match specifications. So right now you can play Frostbite, Valakowski, Aeolian Coast, and Stalemate. When you play a game, the game saves. There you go. Look at that. Game saved. This game has been saved. So you can go here and look through all your saved games and pick one to continue from. Now it is kind of annoying because you have so many bloody save games. Delete them, just clear it out, no problem. We'll probably change this later on. Not a big deal right now. That's continue recent game. Activate server. This is where you want to go when you want to play with some buddies on your own private server. Set up a port, change your username, and this username will be you. Put it on the public server list if you want people to know about it. No if you don't. And the max initial rank. This is key. I'll talk about this right now. The max initial rank is the max rank someone can come into the game as. So when you saw me joining a game, you'll be presented with something similar to this, except it'll say faction and initial rank. If I want to say start a game at rank 7, but the server only allows a rank of 4, I will be dropped from 7 down to 4 and start the game there. If I started at 3 though, I could just play as 3, 2, 1, or 0. Anything lower than 4 is good to go. Generally, you'll want to start games with 1 or 2, maybe 3. Do whatever you like. If you're playing with friends, go as high as 7. If you want to try and play even somewhat competitively, keep it at about 2, because past about 2 you get some really ridiculous benefits of being higher rank. Hit start, game starts, people can join. Simple as that. Don't forget to forward your port. When you want to join an online game, hit that, go to the public server list. Now there you go, you see 4 servers are currently up. You'll see other people's servers if they have them. You'll see the name of the server, the country, how many players are on it, and the map. Also the AI and what version they're running. These are all dedicated servers, running 0.77.1, which corresponds to my 0.77 there. And if you notice, you'll think that 3 people are playing on server 1 and 1 person is playing in the other 3 servers. This is a little bit of a bug. It's a little bit complicated to fix. what's going on is, to start the server, for instance, in server 2, there's a player randomly on the map called server 2. He is the host, but he does not play, but yet he counts as a player. So every server right now as a 0.77 has an extra person that's playing that's not actually playing. So if I were to join this Gamer House server, it would actually be me alone against 125 divided by 2 AI. So when you look at server 1 in Finland, you get 3 players, but in actuality you got 2 players playing on map 4 with 140 AI. It's a little bug. It will be fixed before final release. Do not worry about it. Simply for now subtract 1 from all the player numbers. Hit that. You join it. Now note, if it's a different map than what you've got loaded in the background, your game will restart automatically, load the map, and you'll be put right into the action. No need to touch anything, and you'll be starting to play. You want to hit a manual IP like your buddy's IP, hit it right in there, put the port, whatever your username is, so what you want to play as. Default is Mr. Green, don't play as Mr. Green. Join a faction. Your preferred initial rank, like I said, if they have a max limit set at 2, then I would play at 2 right now, but if it's at 4, then you're good. Hit start, you join the game. Simple as that. So let's get back to the main menu, and that's pretty much it for now. What have we got on the left-hand side? These are simple stats that the game keeps track of. We've got soldiers killed, players killed, hours played, stuff like that. Very straightforward. And underneath that, we've got a list of combos and streaks. The difference between a combo and a streak is that a combo occurs within a certain time frame. For instance, killing 5 players within 3 seconds. And streaks occur within 1 life. So killing 20 players or 20 characters and 1 life gives you a diamond plaque. There's also the player kill streak, which you get when you kill 2 or more player-controlled enemies in 1 life. The death streak, which means you died 5 times without killing anything, and does warrant a slap to the face because there are AI running about for you to slaughter. And the oops sign, which means you killed 2 or more teammates in like a second. Don't do that unless you're getting a Jeep unstuck, but we'll talk more about that later. That's pretty much it for the menus and options. If you have any questions, ask below. And that'll be all for now. I will upload the gameplay video soon. Keep an eye out for that. Good night.